Hey guys, Adam here. Welcome to another episode of On the Couch, and today I'm going to be talking about the return of the Muppets. Muppets Most Wanted. This is the sequel to the last one. Is it as good as the last one? Not really, but it's still good. It's still a good movie. I'm going to first go ahead and get the plot out of the way. Basically, the Muppets go on a world tour. If you've seen the trailers, you know what happens. Kermit gets swapped by an escaped criminal. Ricky Gervais is working with that criminal. Kermit tries to escape out of the Russian gulag run by Tina Fey. And Ty Burrell and Sam the Eagle are working together to catch the criminals. And it's all uphill from here. This is a fun movie. It's not as good as the last one, but it's still serviceable. There are still plenty of laughs, plenty of good jokes, plenty of good cameos. And the songs are catchy as hell. I am not kidding. Opening song, it's about them making a sequel. And it works. To me, this is going to be the year of catchy theme songs for kids' movies. Alright? I got this song stuck in my head now. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what the song is because you've probably seen it online or something. But go see it just for that thing, just for that song, because it is that catchy. Okay, so what really, the biggest problem, though, is it did feel a little rushed. I mean, it's about the same length as the last one, but it felt like they were just speeding through the plot a little faster. But then it does slow down a bit to where you're catching up. But that's pretty much the only problem, that at least that I saw. Now, if there is one thing that will hurt younger audiences is some of the pop culture references. There are references to movies the kids don't even know exist. Like Seventh Seal. They made a Seventh Seal joke. They made Shawshank Redemption jokes. And I'm not going to go into those kind of jokes because it'll just ruin it for you. But just watch the movie and know that these jokes work. These are good pop culture reference jokes that actually have a punchline to them. And of course, the Muppets are the Muppets. The Muppets are really good. They acknowledge the events of the last movie were a movie in a way. It's very much a meta film. And so they're going from that movie onto a new adventure, and it's fun. It doesn't linger too much on the world tour because it is also a caper. It's a Muppet caper, like the Great Muppet Caper. But it also, again, has a good message to it, which I won't spoil for you. And oh my God, I really don't want to spoil this movie for you. And you know how hard it is for me to not spoil movies for you because I really want to talk about it more than what I am. But it's really good. The acting is the lead actors are really good. The sight gags are really good. The pop culture references are really good. And I know I said this about the last Muppet movie, but it's that good. I mean, it's not as good as the last one. It does feel rushed. There are pop culture references younger audiences aren't gonna get. But that's kind of the point, because this is also meant for adults. This is also meant for those who actually grew up with the Muppets when they were kids. If the first movie was a love letter to the Muppet Show and the first Muppet movie, this is a love letter to the Muppet sequels that they had. The ones where it had more of a more of a bigger kind of epic-like plot to it. That's what this is, and even though it's not written by Jason Segel, it's still well written. I can't remember the writer's name, but he did do a very good job, and I think it works here because I think it does work that Jason Segel did not write this, but someone else did, because I think it does take a different type of talent to write a screenplay for a totally different kind of plot than what Jason Segel did with the last one. There is one joke, and spoiler warning. I will give you this one spoiler. If you don't want to know, then go ahead and turn this video off, because I'm not going to stop from here. There is a they end up doing a wedding subplot between Kermit and Miss Piggy. And of course, everyone knows Miss Piggy being Miss Piggy, forgetting that a wedding first needs an engagement. Kermit doesn't propose to her. Well, after Kermit breaks out of the gulag, with a little help from Fozzie, Animal, and Walter, who are the only ones that figure out that Constantine, the evil frog, is not Kermit. Although Animal knew the entire time, the others found out later. But they go to the wedding to crash it to save Miss Piggy, from Constantine. And the thing is, they end up having, Kermit and Constantine both have moles because Constantine slapped a fake mole on. And so, Miss Piggy has to figure out which one is who. Now, this is a plot, or like a little, kind of a plot that I am sick and tired of. I've had enough of this sort of thing. The whole evil twin, who is who, blah, 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 that sort of thing. Here it works. It works here because it is obvious who it is, and they don't hide that fact. In other films or television shows that do that, they don't really hide it. I know they're trying to do the whole dun 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 thing, but they stretch it out longer than they need to. Here, they actually give it literally a good solid minute before Miss Piggy realizes who the real Kermit is. But it's also very funny because Constantine is not hiding, throughout the entire movie, he's not doing a very good job in imitating Kermit at all. Okay? And Miss Piggy is still having a hard time deciding who is the real Kermit until Kermit actually acts like Kermit. While Constantine is the exact opposite. He's much more confident. He's egotistical. Kermit is a little more cautious. He's a little more humble. He knows, like, look, I know you want to get married, and I want to marry you, but, it's like, and then boom, Piggy knows who Kermit is. And I like that. I like the fact that she picked the right guy over the obvious fake. But, and again, like they said with, like I said, and I know I'm going to go more into spoilers, the message, or I shouldn't say the message, not the message, but the reasoning why Constantine, who's doing a poor imitation of Kermit, is actually accepted by everybody, besides the fact that he looks like Kermit, is that he's actually letting them do whatever they want, which the real Kermit didn't want to do. They needed a little order because they were very chaotic. He realized that, look, we've got to keep it down. We've got to make sure we don't hurt anybody and whatnot. Constantine's like, yeah, do whatever you want. I don't care, blah, blah, blah. And they accepted that because they're like, this is the Kermit we want, one who let us do whatever we want to do, instead of actually doing what is best, basically. And that actually works. It's a lot better than, oh, well, he looks like Kermit, so we're just going to accept the fact that he's Kermit. They actually admit why they accepted this obvious fake as Kermit. And there is a good running gag about the fact that the mole is the one thing that differentiates between Kermit and Constantine. They do make a good joke about that, even though it's a running gag. And it is actually a very simple joke, but it works. Now enough with the Muppets. I'm definitely not going into the cameos because, again, spoiler. Although I will give you like one cameo, Danny Trejo, because you guys seen him in all the trailers and whatnot. Danny Trejo doesn't just play himself. He actually plays a criminal in the gulag named Danny Trejo. And they actually put that in the credits, is Danny Trejo as Danny Trejo. Not as Danny Trejo as himself, but Danny Trejo. It's hilarious. And he's actually very funny, despite the small amount of lines he gets. I mean, I am a huge Danny Trejo fan. I will watch anything with Danny Trejo in it. I'll even suffer through the Spy Kids movies, just so I can, just to get to Danny Trejo. But and he's really fun. He's actually, the amount of screen time he has, he's actually funny. He really is. And but other than that, Brent McKenzie's also in this, playing a gulag prisoner. But he's also the music he's also the one who does the music. And he does a really damn good job of it. He did an excellent job with the music. He hit the right notes with the comedy and the tone and everything. It is everything I remember from the Muppets movies. Just how catchy it is, how fun it is, how easy it is to dance to it. Because it really is easy to dance to it. Also, props to Tina Fey, Ricky Gervais, and Ty Burrell. All these actors are, they are TV actors. And it works here. It really does, because they're just really good. They're just really funny. I am big fans of all three of them. Ricky Gervais plays the much more competent villain. He actually, he's the more competent villain than Constantine. Constantine is not a bad criminal. And of course the joke is he's the #1 criminal, when really Ricky Gervais should be the #1 criminal, even though he's #2. And they actually have a dance number, a musical number about that. And it's actually very, very funny. But it's very evident on who actually is the better criminal, who actually plans things out better, who knows more, who actually pays attention to things more. Tina Fey plays the warden of the Russian Gulag, and she has this deep desire to do Broadway. Obviously, they don't delve too much into it, but the little subtle hints actually does give her a bit more character development than just a stereotypical Russian warden. And she's very funny, and she actually doesn't have a bad voice, or I should say a bad singing voice. She really doesn't. It works for her character, especially during her musical number. It's actually, and again, it's very catchy. And again, spoilers. And of course, if you've seen like the latest TV spot or trailer, you've probably seen this. There's a scene where, and this is actually later on in the movie, she has a shrine dedicated to Kermit, and there's like a little Kermit the Frog and dressed up as Luke Skywalker action figure, like you could probably find over at Disney World, like up in the corner, which actually gave me a giggle because I'm just I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've actually seen that action figure at Disney World before, but it got really, really unsettling with her when she starts making out with a picture of Kermit the Frog. I want to see the R-rated version of that scene because that has to be the funniest thing to ever see in my life. but enough of that. And of course, Ty Burrell. Ty Burrell plays an Interpol agent who is the laziest, most incompetent, or I shouldn't say incompetent, but more semi-incompetent Interpol agent I've ever seen. This guy is actually a better Inspector Clouseau than Steve Martin was in the Pink Panther movies. Ty Burrell, if they ever decide to make another Pink Panther movie, hire Ty Burrell as Inspector Clouseau, because, I mean, hell, they could have actually named him Inspector Clouseau and it would have worked, because he actually does a very good job in playing the Interpol agent as a goofy, incompetent in character, and again it works here because he cares more about his breaks than he does actually getting work done. And he still acts like like he's the greatest Interpol agent on the planet, and he's stuck with Sam the Eagle, who's obviously the better cop or the better agent, and which is actually a very nice parallel to the Ricky Gervais and Constantine pair up, because the roles are kind of switched around. The Muppet is the competent person, whereas the human's the incompetent person, and again, vice versa with the other team. And they do share some good chemistry together as well. I mean, it's amazing how much chemistry these actors have with the Muppets. It works. It works very well. And of course, that's another thing I missed out on on the Couch Rewind review of the Muppets is the chemistry. There is chemistry with the Muppet between the humans and the Muppets. It's very, very well done. Even some of the cameos have good chemistry, have good jokes. I mean, this is one thing I just got to say about it, though, is how it takes a certain kind of skill to look at puppets and not crack a smile. It really does. If I was in that movie, I'd be laughing at the fact that I'm talking to a bunch of puppets. That's what I will be doing. I'd be ruining each take because I'm going to be too busy staring at the person lying down on the floor, controlling the Muppets, more than I am going to be actually interacting with the Muppets. But props to those actors, and props to the Muppeteers. I'm calling them that because that's what they are. They're Muppeteers. Props to the Muppeteers by being really good at what they do. Really, I think that's about it. I think I've definitely gone on long enough about this. Like I said, it's not as good as the last one, but it's still good. It's still a good time to go. It's still a really good time at the movies. It's a good experience. If anything, I'm going to give Muppets Most Wanted a 7 out of 10. Definitely go see it. Definitely go see it because the characters are funny, the jokes are funny, the music is funny and catchy. Just go see this movie. So next is trailers. There we go. Alright, so I got... well, this is more like a sneak peek to Rio 2, really, and not much of a trailer. But again, it's Brent McKenzie talking about his character in the movie, who's the villain. It doesn't look good. I never saw the first one, and I'll probably have to. So expect a review of that sometime soon. Another one, and this is one I actually just remembered, called Earth to Echo. This is a found footage movie for kids, basically, where a bunch of kids find a little alien robot. Throughout this entire thing, all I kept thinking was, this is E.T., but with found footage. That's it. That's all this movie is. It's E.T. with found footage. That's all I can say about this. Now, I'm not saying it looks bad. It's just, we've seen it before with E.T. Just minus the found footage. Next is, and I actually put this in wrong. It's a different title, but it's basically Lemurs of Madagascar is what I put in. Again, Morgan Freeman narrating. It's March of the Lemurs, basically. That's what it is. And this is what's funny, though, is throughout this entire trailer, it's Morgan Freeman narrating. And then at the end of the trailer, it says, narrated by Morgan Freeman. Like, we need to know who Morgan Freeman is. We know who Morgan Freeman is. Alright? Hell, every single time I play South Park Stick of Truth, I see Morgan Freeman pop up at the end to narrate something complicated and he gets a freckle, which is probably true. Next is Annie. Again, not really necessary of a remake. Especially, and again, Cameron Diaz, huge miscast in my opinion. Next is How to Train Your Dragon 2. Looking forward to that. Next, and again, Planes, Fire, and Rescue. And last but not least, Maleficent, which I kind of want to see, but I've been having some reservations lately about this movie. Mostly because it looks like they're trying to make Maleficent much more sympathetic than she really needs to be. I mean, this is meant to be kind of a remake with a wicked twist to make her more sympathetic. Thing is, though, why? I mean, Maleficent, I'm not saying this movie looks bad. It looks really good. But Maleficent, I mean, hell, her name even says it all. She's evil. She's an evil fairy. She doesn't really need to be sympathetic. She just needs to be evil. And she also ends up befriending Aurora while lying to her and whatnot. So, again, why? I don't understand. But Angelina Jolie is Maleficent. That is some perfect casting on their part. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be good. I'm gonna have to watch the original just to compare the two. So expect a rewind review of that. But yeah, that's it on that. So Muppets Most Wanted. Go see it. Have a good time with your kids on this. Next, I'll have my review of Divergent. Yeah, just wait till I get that. Bye.